This probably has to be my most requested video, and I'm finally giving it the full standalone video that it deserves. I have done a house tour before on one of my weekly Sunday vlogs, but it just got lost amongst the other content in that video, and we're hoping to move soon. If you follow me on Instagram and also here on YouTube watching my usual vlogs, you'll know that we have come across a property that we really love. It's a major renovation project. We are setting things in motion to sell this property, and I thought, you know what, this is the best time for me to give a full tour for you guys so you can see exactly what it's like, because it might give you some inspiration. And if things do also progress with the house that we want to buy, I know that life's going to get very busy very quickly. We're going to be having house viewings, we're maybe going to have to like pack up our house, stuff like that, and the opportunity to give you a detailed house tour in all its glory right now without doing clear outs, packing things away, massive tidy ups for house viewings as well. This is our opportunity. It's our opportunity to do a proper house tour. We have done so much to this property. It is unrecognisable. Is that the right word? It's unrecognisable from when we first bought it. And if this house sale happens, if we're able to sell this and move into the home that we found, I will do a separate video on the exact work that we've done to it. We'll take a trip down memory lane as to showing photos what it was like when we first moved in. Lawrence has done pretty much most of it in terms of the design work. He has such an amazing eye for not just interiors, but also how spaces can work. He's a graphic designer by trade, so it's like within him to be able to do that. And we're so aligned as well. Feel very fortunate that there's no arguments about like what we want to do, colour schemes, design, everything that we want to do, we're on board with together. And we both have a lot of opinions as well. I know there are a few couples where maybe it's weighted on one person as to the ideas that they have or the furniture that they have, the colour schemes that they have. That's not the case here. We are pretty much 50-50 with what we want. If anything, like a lot of this, especially with like artwork and like trinkets around the house, I would say that's like 75% Lawrence actually. There's a lot to show you, and when we do actually get round to moving house, we'll do a whole other video on what we've actually renovated, what the floor plan was like when we first moved in, how we did it, costs, all those kind of things. But for now, we're gonna do a house tour. So we're stood right now in our hallway. This is actually a part of an extension that we did. We did our house in 2 phases of renovation. That's purely down to budget. We didn't have enough money to be able to do them both at the same time. So we did one extension and then we did another about 2 years later, something like that. And this is a part of the second extension. We've got underfloor heating actually in this part of the house, which is a lifesaver. This part of the house is so warm and insulated, which is great. It's got amazing sunlight as well with these great beautiful skylights. As an entryway into a home, it is so light and airy. It's got a lovely width to it. It's just a beautiful way to enter into the house. And then to my side here, we have my office. So let me take you through into my office space. So this is where we were just stood in the hallway, and this is my little office here. We have these great doors on these rollers, which I really love. We did design this space with the opportunity for it to become 2 different things. This is a little click-clack sofa, so if we needed this to be another space for sleeping for guests, something that I would have done if we actually ended up doing that, which we've never had the need to do it, but if we did have people staying in here, I probably would have put some curtains along this side of the wall as well, so that they could shut these sliding glass doors and not be woken up by the sunlight. There is a beautiful skylight in here as well. We also have aircon in here, which if you're able to put aircon and underfloor heating in, I highly recommend. Not only does it mean that your house is like heated, we've got our heating on like hive, so as soon as it hits a certain temperature or we're within a distance of the house, it kicks in and it warms the house up. So not only does it keep the house really lovely and toasty with the underfloor heating, but the aircon, oh my goodness, in summer it makes such a difference. I thought it'd be one of those things that we'd only use 1 or 2 times during a heat wave. It has been used so much. You're able to put aircon into rooms. Really do recommend doing it. Another thing is that it frees up wall space. So if you have a lot of furniture that you need to fit into a space, or if you have a lot of artwork, it means that you don't have to have radiators on the walls. So having underfloor heating, aircon, highly recommend. Another little renovation thing that I will say is put plugs in everywhere, like every corner of every room. Just put a plug in, get the ones with USB and USB-C ports in them as well. You'd be surprised, like the amount of times that you would need a plug socket in different locations of a room. Even in this small room, it means that you can really play around with the layout of your space. So highly recommend. And also you can get your plugs, like covers, painted or spray them to be very similar colour to your walls as well, so they don't look like they stick out like a sore thumb. So if you're doing any renovation work, plugs in every single corner of the room. But I absolutely love this office space. I love my little walking desk as well. This is actually on up and down feet. So it's on a motorised and I can just put the desk up and down when I need it. Like I say, aircon, beautiful skylight. It's just a really beautiful space to be in. And then we turn around. This is a secondary view of our hallway. I genuinely don't think that I would have had a hallway that looks like this if it wasn't for his vision. This is kind of naturally developed over time as well. We have so many unique pieces here. Something that I will say is if you want to create something like a gallery wall and put interesting character into your home through trinkets, don't rush it. I personally don't think it's worth going and buying off-the-shelf prints. When you go traveling, pick up the things that you love. Go to flea markets, go to poster shops, things like that, and pick up small pieces when you're out and about that really spark joy and memories. That's my take on it. We have developed this little like gallery wall, and I don't think we even expected it to be a gallery wall when we first moved in, but it has just naturally developed into that. And I would say, yeah, that's my one thing. If you want to build interest and character in your home, don't go off the shelf. And I think that's actually some of the problem that I have in my office. These prints here, I love them. They suited a time of my life when I put them in them. They say champagne please, butter please, and martini please. I wouldn't necessarily buy them again. They were very off the shelf. They're from an artist that is really small and independent, but they're not very unique compared to some of the other things that we have in this home. And it really does speak. When I'm in this space compared to this space here, it is just full of interest and texture. And I just think that's really key when you're wanting to build a unique home. Let me give you a little bit of a detail shot of some of the pieces that we have here so that you can potentially get some inspiration, or if you're the kind of person that you do go to places when you're away but you can't necessarily vision certain things, maybe this will help you do that. So let's do a little bit of a tour of this gallery wall and show you all the details. First, we have our little entry section. This is actually a mirror from made.com, which I really love. I think it works in the space really nicely. We have a cute little trinket shelf here and a rail where we keep some of our go-to bags that we need to keep for like shopping, Oishi's little travel bag, and a couple of trinkets on here as well. Vintage pin-up art we absolutely love. So we got these in New York in a flea market. This is also from an artist at that same flea market in Brooklyn, New York. We've got a nice little photo booth photo of Lawrence and I, a little postcard from a hotel that we stayed at in Margate. A sconce. I love a sconce for interest and also creating beautiful lighting in the evening when you're hosting. This here was a gift from our photographer from our wedding actually. She picked out some of her favourite photos that she took from our wedding day, had them printed out on Polaroids and then mounted into this for us. And it's a really lovely different way to showcase family photos in a way that's not like, here's a photo on a wall, if you know what I mean. And then we've picked up these little trinkets from different places that we've travelled. I think these ones were from Chiang Mai in Thailand, and I'm pretty certain that one was from Mumbai. We just found that on the beach. We found this, I'm pretty certain, in Paris, and we keep lots of little matchboxes in here that we collect from different hotels that we stay in. A map that we got in Tokyo. It's just a city map that one of the hotels gave us, and we've taped a couple of Daruma dolls onto this. I think this was also in Japan. We found this in a flea market. We found this print in Barcelona from a cute little poster store. Again, we have a few like Polaroid photo booth pictures there. We collected this flag from a hotel called the Staniel Yi Yacht Club in the Bahamas. This is actually a gift that I got Lawrence from a shop in London. They're kind of like a traditional Mexican head, I think. You get these in Mexico. And he saw it, loved it, and I sourced it down for him and bought that for his birthday. This I absolutely love. Let me go turn it on. We've got a switch over here. So we have this vintage neon sign. This was a real headache for our electrician when he put this in. He had to put this little transmission box or something in there. But this at night time, oh my goodness, it creates like, it makes the whole hallway red, and it is so cool when you have guests coming in. One of the best little features, and I love that we had that put in there. We have another one of our wedding photos there that a family member got for us framed, and then also just like another poster that we found in a flea market. I think we got this in Bali. We got these at a brand event, and I'm pretty certain we got this in Hong Kong. And then the final bit of this wall, we have this really cool mirror that we picked up in a vintage market. This is by an artist called Mr. Bingo, who we really love, really recommend for some more quirky pieces of art. We love this flip calendar as well. It's by Pirelli, and it's just full of amazing pin-up shots. I found this in a pack of cards. This was actually from the Hoxton, and it's where you put it on the back of the door to say if you want room service or not. And again, a little trinket that we got from a stand in, I think this was also Chiang Mai. This wall hanging, I love this piece of art, and I got it as a wall hanging, and we put it into these little holders. Again, little photo booth Polaroids. This is Joe Lycett's piece of art that he sold, and yeah, very happy with this. We got this in Cornwall, jam over cream. Another little piece of art, I think this is from Lawrence's parents. This is painted. Can you believe that? It looks like a photo, doesn't it? Again, little photo booth Polaroids around. This is again from Mr. Bingo. We just love him as an artist. An oyster shell that we really love. A little pasta calendar. And then a couple of posters that we got from poster shops in Iceland and Helsinki. I didn't realise that would take so long to walk you through, but that's our gallery wall. And like I say, just finding things that are really unique. It's so important because your home is yours. Make it yours. Make it unique. Make it spark joy. Make yourself, when you look at things, go, oh yeah, do you remember that trip? That's what it's all about. So then we come into the snug. This room we absolutely love. This is perfect for watching films, those cozy Sunday evenings together. We have all of these vintage posters around the room. Again, this room has aircon and also underfloor heating, massive big squishy sofa, great massive TV, and we also have like lots of games in this little storage box here, so we can sometimes have games night when we have friends come over. Like super plush and beautiful carpet. This is Oishi's favourite room. Oishi is our dog, if you don't follow me and you've just come through watching this house tour. Yeah, he absolutely loves it. It's just a really, really lovely, cosy space. It works in summer as well because you can put the aircon in, and it's a lovely, cool, dark room to be in when those summer evenings are just a little bit too much. And also something that I really recommend if you're renovating is to put sliding doors in if you're short on space, because it just means that it all goes into the pocket of the wall. You're not having doors swinging open. I think I'd absolutely do sliding doors again in our next place as much as possible. I do think that for rooms like this, they just work really nicely. And then that brings us through to the real showstopper piece, our main living space. Here it is in all its glory. It brings me with joy every single day. We've lived here now for around 8 years, and I still love it so much. If we could pick this house up and put it on the plot of land that we found this new place in, would 100% do that, because it works so well. We really wanted to design a space that was big and open, especially when you knew that we'd be doing this extra bit where we'd have a separate reception area and separate snug. We wanted a full space that was really open, and it allowed for great hosting opportunities as well. We wanted people to come in here and be able to go to different areas but still be a part of whatever activity was going on, and we've zoned it really well because of that. So we'll start off in the kitchen area. So this is the main kitchen. We actually made our island out of concrete slabs that are homemade. I will do a more detailed kitchen tour, actually, one where we can go through all the cupboards and I can show you my favourite kitchen appliances, how I organise things, how everything looks at this state without clearing out before we move. But we made our concrete worktops. I'll go through in detail how we did that in that video as well. I just think the flow of this is really good. We have an induction hob there, and we have built-in dishwasher, sink. We have 2 ovens over here and also a wine fridge too. I think it's really important when you're designing a kitchen, I'll go into this in detail in a kitchen-based video, but to have everything in a really nice triangle. You want to be able to go from the hob to the sink, to the oven in a really nice kind of loop. And you also want to have a good distance between the two areas that you have so people can be walking behind you and you're not bumping into each other. Really, really happy with the design of our kitchen. We actually used IKEA carcasses and had all of the doors custom made with a colour that we loved. Bavouac green, I think, is the green that we have in here. I really rate it. We have had 2 properties so far. This is our second home that we've owned. And in our first property, when we renovated the kitchen, we also used IKEA carcasses. I can't recommend enough. I think that we'd also use them for the next home as well. I'll obviously look into lots of different options, but for their solutions for storage, I mean, it's IKEA. Of course, they have great storage solutions. They also have really great depth of drawers as well. I think that's another thing that's really great. These ones here, super deep, so you can fit all your pots and pans in. So going down that route of IKEA carcasses and then bespoke fronts just made the most sense for us, and very affordable as well, because I think they also do interest-free credit. When you're renovating a home, utilize the interest-free credit whenever you can. We'll do a full kitchen detail tour where I can walk you through what's in all the drawers. Double ovens was very important for me. I love to host, we love to host, so having 2 ovens, it was just not essential. Nothing's essential, it's not that deep. In terms of like the job that I have and the way that we love to host, it makes it so much easier. So if you have the space to do it, would recommend. Also having them at this height, very useful because you're not having to bend down or reach too high for them. Again, I will go into this in more detail in a kitchen based only video, but this area here I'm obsessed with. I would build something like this on a similar scale, maybe a little bit bigger actually if we allow for it in the new place, but this is a little hidden pantry area. We actually call it more of like a breakfast area because you've got like your air fryer, toaster, coffee machine, kettle, things like that, glasses, and like loads of drawers for everything that you need in there. And it's just a really lovely way to be able to tuck away appliances that you might not want on the kitchen top. That's definitely something that I would do for the next kitchen. Build in more things like that, where it's like hidden areas that are really deep, where you can have your KitchenAid plugged in, your food processor, your NutriBed, all the things that I use regularly, plugged in, ready to go, so I'm not having to like get them out of drawers, you know. So that brings us around to this part of the open living space. Hopefully you would have seen this area in my other content a few times. This is where I film all of my content. A dining space here where we've built in banquette seating. This is great, like it seats so many people. You can get about 3 to 4 people on this side here, 2 on either end, and then 3 to 4 people on these depending on which chairs you use. Again, really great artwork that we've collected over a long period of time, and they're all just like really unique pieces. Another big thing that we love is our big cinema sign here, and also like the beautiful big bifolds. I think this is so important when you're renovating a home or designing a home, to put in windows that put in a lot of light, draw in a lot of light. We're south facing, so it is just such glorious light that we get pretty much all the time. Even when it's a grey day, this room is so bright. It's very rare that we have to turn on the main light. We pretty much always have these island lights on, but that's more just for aesthetics than anything, not because we actually need the light. So this room, it's so bright and beautiful. And then next section of the room is the living space here. A couple of sofas, lovely sideboard, wood burner stove, and the TV mounted there as well. And then up here, we got a lot of questions about what's up here. This is our mezz floor, and it has actually got a spare bed up there. No one really ever stays up there, but it's good to have it as another option, like my office really. So we have this little ladder that we can just pull down, and then we can go up this ladder, and I'll show you up to the mezz space. Here's the mezz space. These 2 animal heads, we got them in America years ago, and we couldn't resist bringing them home. But we've got a nice little extra bed space if needed. Through here, we also have access to more of the roof, so like more of the eaves. So that's where all of our Christmas decorations, suitcases, things like that are through there. Good amount of like hidden storage. But yeah, it's a lovely little extra sleeping space if needed. And then here we have our little bar area. We've got this section where you can lock away different spirits and stuff if you want to. This is a nice little bar area that we have a light there that comes on when the main lights are on. This, when you're hosting, is great because you can be here grabbing all the drinks that you need. You can grab the ice from the fridge, put all the cocktails together there. It's just a really nice, again, like triangle that I was saying about. It all just flows really nicely, which is all intentional. Lawrence put a lot of time into planning out how a house would flow, and everything feels connected but also really private at the same time, which I think is really key with any home design. This is pretty much the only part of the original house remaining, even though we have renovated it and done certain things to it, but this is pretty much coming into where the original bungalow would have been. This whole space, it was pretty much like knocked down and rebuilt and done double heights. Before it was just a single kind of like story small space, and we've made it a lot bigger. Again, another gallery wall here. I feel like the artwork when we pack up this home, if we pack up this home, is going to be our biggest thing to deal with. Little details like this I absolutely love. If you can have fun in your home with things like door handles, things that are just normally really boring, go for it. You can always swap it out and you're never gonna regret doing something like this. I really love them. So we've got these lion door handles. Another thing we love, so this is our family bathroom, the main bathroom of the house. This is a feature I just will always love. This isn't actually set within the tiles. These are little vinyls that Lawrence had made, stickers that are the exact shape of these tiles, and it just means that if we wanted to pull these up and not have this phrase on the floor, we don't have to have it there. It was just a really cool way. So if you ever find someone who can create vinyls and you want to do something to your tiles without committing to actually putting tiles in, I just think it's such a genius idea. We've had that on the floor since we renovated this bathroom about 6 years ago, however long it was that we did this bathroom, and never even considered pulling them up. But it also just means that when we come to selling, if someone doesn't like that, they can pull them up. If you're scared of colour and you want to create a little bit more interest in your home, do it via other avenues, like doing things with like gallery walls, things that are going to create interest and texture, not just through colour, because that whole main space, that's all stark white. As soon as we take everything off the walls, it's a very clean white space, but you can make it as animated as you want through things like the cinema sign, pictures that you have on the walls. So actually the bathtub, we decided to paint this, and this is using leftover paint from the kitchen and from our front door. As I said, this is like bivouac green, and this pink is desert blue, just through like Dulux colours, nothing fancy, nothing Farrow & Ball or anything like that. We actually only painted this because we got this bathtub secondhand and it was painted like a really gross blue. We hated the colour blue that it was painted. So we kind of had to paint it, and we had leftover paint, and I said, why don't we do it half and half? Why not? And it looks really cool. I really like it. Also, this wall here, this is actually, it used to be the external window to the house. So where we were in the hallway through that window there, that used to be a garage and a walkway with the original design of the house. And we wanted to be able to bring natural light into this bathroom. And the way that we did that is we got these glass bricks that pull in the light from the hallway that's got really beautiful sunlight because of those skylights. And it just makes this whole internal windowless bathroom flooded with light, which is a really good way of doing it. Another thing that I would always recommend with renovating is building these are they called recesses within your showers to have your products on. Another thing that we've done in both our showers is we have an LED strip of lighting here as well, so that when the lighting's on in this room, that little shelf area is really nice and lit up. One thing I would also recommend, and we did this in our ensuite, is don't put your shower toggles, or whatever they're called, there. Put them on a wall that's away from where the water is going to come down, if that makes sense. Because for example, this one here, if you're wanting to like run the shower and you're in your like clothes before you've got changed out of your clothes, you're putting that on and then the water's coming down, you have to get your arm away really quickly. If you had it on the opposite wall, you could turn it on and you wouldn't get wet. So little things that are just better with the design. I just naturally, when we designed this, we're like, yeah, of course it goes there. But no, put them there. And I'll show you in our ensuite because that's how we designed it there. And then we have this beautiful little section here. Again, lots of little interest and art that we have all over the place. We have a little shelf there where you can put like trinkets and stuff in. I think this is the perfect kind of like family bathroom, and I would actually do something similar to this in terms of its layout again when we go to our next house. I didn't actually show this cupboard here as you come out of the main space, but this is our little utility space. So you have tumble dryer, washing machine, storage for all of your washing bits, storage for like Hoover, drying racks, and then also like towels and bedding storage up here as well. And again, putting these little lights in makes such a difference. These are just IKEA as well, just like IKEA cheap ones that we've just plugged in. This is our spare bedroom here. Again, we just really love the use of colour in this one. I'm not sure I would do this kind of colour scheme again, and maybe like I'd even like colour drench this room a little bit more. So I'd maybe do the pink again, but maybe the white, I would do a completely different contrasting colour, but not like a million miles off. I think our styles have slightly evolved since we've designed this one, but not drastically. Perfect for guests. We've got some nice natural light there. And that brings us on to Lawrence's studio / office. This actually used to be, say hello, Lawrence.
Hello, Lawrence.
This used to be our bedroom. Before we did the second renovation, before I show you our master bedroom, this used to be our main room. So you can actually see these two lights next to Lawrence. That's where our bed used to be down the centre, but now Lawrence uses it as his main studio space. But we've got a good sofa bed in here, so this converts into a spare bedroom as well. Just don't be afraid of colour. Colour is so much fun. Lawrence isn't afraid of things either. You can see in his like space, like this is what I mean. If it wasn't for Lawrence, I think our house wouldn't be as curated with things. And that takes us to the final bit, the master suite. I love this part so much. This is our bathroom here. We've got nice, I think it's just like a really perfect size actually. For an ensuite, I don't think you need anything more than that. Obviously, if money and space was no object, go as big as you want, but really this is like perfect. And I think I would do other ensuite bathrooms this kind of size. Again, we've colour drenched in here, so you can kind of see how our styles have developed. Like the spare bedroom was when we first renovated like phase 1 of the house, and also the main space actually is when we first renovated phase 1, and then phase 2 is when we did like this whole section here, and you can see that we got a little bit more confident with playing with colour. And I think if we had done our main space now, we would have done things like the iron beams that we have in there, we probably would have painted those like a bright red or something. I'm kind of glad that we didn't, because that kind of stuff is a little bit hard to turn back to white if someone wanted to. And ultimately you do need to, if this isn't going to be your forever home, there is something in the back of your head about, you do need to make it kind of like sellable, but also like paint it the colour that you want, and you can always paint it white. But yeah, we've colour drenched this, so we've matched the paint to the tiles, and it's just a really lovely little space. We have like sink, little cabinet that we've got all of our products in there. Again, I think that's really important, is that when you're like renovating, make sure you've got enough space in your bathroom. Try and find a storage solution underneath your sink where you can put your products, your medications, loo roll, things like that. Also above it, be able to put all of your products in there. I think storage is really underthought, especially in bathrooms, so make sure you put in enough. And then through here we have again a nice beautiful rainfall shower. Again, the resussed area for the products and the nice LED lighting there. And this is what I was saying in terms of there being the controls on the other side of the wall, so you can turn this on and not get your arm wet. And I think a lot of people might have put the controls there, but it makes so much more sense to have it on the opposite side to where that water comes down. We're almost there, guys. There's 2 more bits left. So now we are coming to the dressing room. This area here, oh my gosh, guys, we did all of this with IKEA. This is all IKEA hacks. We didn't pay to have any of this built in. There was a lot of work that went into doing this. I would say it took us like 2 full weekends of work whilst doing like full-time jobs. So worth it. I love our dressing room so much. I think I'd do something similar again, to be honest. Like I say, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of graft, and a lot of working out on Lawrence's point, and he might go, no, I'd rather go with like Sharps wardrobes because of that. But I wouldn't be against it, you know. I think if budgets were really, really tight again, I think that it's a really great solution. A lovely little feature that I love is our golden archway. When Lawrence was doing some of the designs, he was like, why do we need to have it as like a square walkway? Like, this is literally anything that we want it to be. So our builders made this little archway, and then I got a load of gold leaf off of Amazon and made this beautiful little detail, which I really, really love. And this is our master suite. Lawrence had this vision to do these lights above the bed here. Something I don't think is needed in this room are spotlights. Barely ever put the spotlights on actually, and we just use like low LED kind of like mood lighting. That's something that I'd do more in the next house. I would put in a lot more LED strips in places. We stayed in some amazing hotels where they do things like put LED strips down the corner of walls, or they put them underneath the like skirting, and it lights up the house that way. So I think we'd probably explore the idea of lighting in non-traditional spotlight ways in the next place, because actually we never turn the spots on in any room. And then something that I do love here is our beautiful big window. It just means that like in the morning when you're sat in bed, you can just look out to the lawn, like such a lovely viewpoint. And another thing that we really love in this room is we've got this thing called Block, well, it's from the brand called Block blinds. You can see the frame of it here. It's an automatic blackout blind. So we've got it scheduled to like certain times. Essentially at sundown, it automatically comes down, and it just means that this room is like in complete darkness. If you love to sleep in pitch black, highly recommend looking into Block blinds and getting one put in. It's like you do it yourself, so you give all the measurements to your window and then they send you all the items and you put it up. But it's brilliant, and I think with all the other rooms in hopefully the new place, we'll have something like this put in. The only negative with it is that because it's in a frame, you can't have the windows open when it's down, because if it comes out the frame and the blind then goes back up, it will get jammed and stuck in the frame. So I need to think of some other solutions there so that you can still have nice fresh air ventilation in a room without that. But I would have something similar like that again, because it does make such a difference to how you sleep. That's our house there. We do have a pretty impressive garden as well, so I think I might have to do that in a separate video, because this is already going to be quite a long one for just like a standalone house tour. I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to be doing another one when we hopefully move, where we can go through an empty house tour. Lawrence and I can talk you through the designs that we did for this. We can show you the before pictures, go deep into like how we did how Lawrence did all the designs for it. If you have any questions about this space, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about renovating or just anything to do with home that you think I'd be able to answer for you, please let me know. And I really hope you enjoyed this. We love this house so much. It's going to be so bittersweet to leave it, but if this new one happens, this is going to be like the most amazing, never want to say forever because you never know what's going to happen, but forever kind of home scenario, and we'll obviously take you along for every single part of that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to buy our home, drop me an email. I'll put my email address below to help us get our dream home. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.